Recording. Hello, my name is Nora Duffy. Today is February 27th, 2022. We are in Charlotte, North Carolina, and today I will be discussing the harmful effects of mission trips. Although many mission trips are displayed as rainbows and butterflies, the harsh truth is that developing countries do not need a revolving door of young volunteers from overseas coming in for short periods of time and providing limited skills, which was said by Hannah Ward in her TED Talk on www.ted.com. Using Dr. Alan Monroe's motivated sequence, I'm going to present to you the reasons why mission trips are not as beneficial as they seem, which is the need. Then we're going to identify a solution to this problem and how we will make mission trips more effective, which is satisfaction. And lastly, I'm going to inform you of what the consequences will be if we fail to understand the negative effects and ways to utilize the solutions I'll be giving you, which is the visualization. So rather than mission trips being a saving grace, and multiple factors have demonstrated that in an attempt to help people living in impoverished communities, we actually harm them. And we do this by a lot of people having desires of self-improvement and the inclination to be humbled or to expose the community to one's culture. And if that is your main reason for going on a mission trip, it is unintentionally or intentionally selfish. A lot of people don't even mean to go into a mission trip with this idea, but it is sadly a lot of people's motives for going on a mission trip. As www.lsureveal.com said, this experience should not be about you in any way, shape, or form. It should be about the effects on the people you help. Since a lot of the attendees are young adults, these mission trips financially harm impoverished communities by allowing unqualified people to perform a job poorly, and they also take jobs that would normally be performed by locals. So not only would it be harmful for an unqualified person to build these houses, schools, and businesses, it also take the job of a local worker. According to www.internationaltravels.com, we traveled to another country. The true experts are locals who have grown up in the community. They know what's effective and how that works in their culture. Additionally, we come up with this idea of privilege, which is extremely prevalent in mission trips, both financially and racially. Financial privilege gives off the impression that participants are kind of saving these communities, which just pins them as helpless and also perpetuates the idea that they need external help to flourish. On the other hand, we have this idea of racial privilege, which just stems from the idea that of a white savior complex, which refers to a white person helping a non-white person in a self-serving manner, which kind of circles back to our points about the participants being benefited more than the actual community that they're claiming to help. It really just gives this idea that they are doing things in a self-serving manner and focusing on themselves rather than the community. Next, we're going to talk about satisfaction, which two of the ways to solve this problem is to A, educate yourself, and B, to seek alternative methods to helping these communities. So instead of perpetuating ignorance, those who want to partake in a mission trip should actually educate themselves on the aspects of these trips. And also we can find alternatives to remediate the situation. So the first would be, rather than having an unqualified person perform a job poorly, local workers should be paid to do these jobs because they have the experience and they know how to do it correctly. Second example would be, rather than building a school, volunteers should focus on different forms of education-based service, like becoming a part-time teacher or committing to heightened attendance rates, which will both help a child in these communities academic levels, but it takes away, you don't have to focus on building a school, which could just be adding to their problems. Next, we're going to talk about the visualization of this satisfaction, which we first look at the consequences. So the first consequence we would face if we fail to comprehend the underlying negative issues is that these trips will continue to not actually yield the positive results that people claim they do. And another consequence of being ignorant in the harmful effects of mission trips is that ignorance only perpetuates itself. Essentially, the more realization and less ignorance that we have when it comes to mission trips, the more positive results we will see in helping alleviate the issues of the impoverished communities. So in conclusion, a combination of factors demonstrate that an attempt to help people living in these impoverished communities, we can actually harm them. We now know that short-term mission trips possess underlying negative motives, financially harm communities, and showcase saviorism. Our call to action is to use that information to educate yourself and to seek out other ways to remediate prevalent issues For more information, I have a bunch of sites that you can visit that describe not only the negative effects, but it goes more in depth on some things I couldn't touch base on. Do we have any questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So I'm just curious because most mission trips are done through the church.
Mhm.
So how is it not a benefit to share religion with people who may not have a set religion already? How is that not a benefit?
So I never necessarily said it wasn't beneficial to spread a religion, but I would say more so that it's not beneficial if you go in with the intention of that being your motive and your desire to go ahead and spread your religion. Because a lot of times these countries don't need access to religion, they need help financially. So focusing on helping the communities with a deeper level rather than just exposing them to religion is um, probably a better alternative. And that just goes into like questioning motives and questioning what your desires are going into it and how we can avoid doing that. So that was a great question. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for being here today. That is all I have. I hope you guys use this information. And yes, that's all. Thank you so much. I don't know how to stop recording.